to serve a purpose? Is there any utility in keeping this there? Knowing the amount of strife that market house represents. Black people see their ancestors being bought and sold, their ancestors being demeaned, stripped naked, men told to turn around, their genitals being inspected by different white purchasers trying to determine whether or not he's good stock. We were labeled like animals. We don't want to see that market house. We don't want to drive past there. There's no good memories for any African American pertaining to the market house. It's a symbol of pain. It symbolizes a time where white people bought and sold us like cattle. We don't want that thing there. So regardless of what argument someone white wants to make pertaining to history, where's the empathy for us? So my point is, the utility of the market house has to be greater than just a symbol. It should be greater than just a symbol, because it's too emotionally demeaning for a very specific population. Show us some empathy. Tear it down. And what can be built there that would have a greater utility for the population that call Fayetteville home? What could be built there? Now, what Germany did, and we can use them as the perfect example, they kept one concentration camp outside of the city, the main populous area of what's the capital? Berlin. They didn't allow any association with the Nazis to remain in Berlin, but they didn't want to completely forget what took place. So they allowed a concentration camp outside of Berlin that they could take students to, which they do, that they could put students on a bus them outside the city to this concentration camp, and then teach them the history of what took place from a government perspective, from an economic perspective, how Jews were treated, killed, everything. So yeah, there are areas. The state of Virginia has plantations that they've preserved. The state of South Carolina has plantations that they've preserved, slave cabins that they've preserved. But you don't walk downtown and see a slave cabin. No, it's completely inappropriate. And so the market house is out of place. If we're talking about Fayetteville trying to compete with Raleigh, Fayetteville trying to compete with Charlotte, Fayetteville trying to compete with Greensboro, go to each one of those cities and look what they did. They got rid of anything pertaining to the old Carolina, the anything pertaining to the Confederacy has been removed from downtown, placed in a museum or outside of city limits, because they're saying it's history. But we want to display a city that you can come to and everyone feel accepted. So when you have a place like a market house, it's a demarcation line. We accept you, but you're going to pay homage to this. No, it's a slap in every African American's face for that building to remain.